Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome. You're listening to Perfectly Healthy and Toned Radio with your host, Darren Fat Man McDuffie. And now, prepare to get fat. Hey, what's cracking? And welcome back to another episode of Perfectly Healthy and Toned Radio, brought to you by I'mTheFatMan.com. And I'm your host, Darren Fat Man McDuffie. We had a little hiatus for a week or two. I had some guests that are canceled on me, and I had to reschedule the show. So those shows will be coming up. And tonight we have a special guest. We have holistic nutritionist Laura Knoff on the show, and she's going to be talking about her book, The Whole Food Guide to Overcoming Irritable Bowel Syndrome. And before we get into that, as always, I'd like for you to connect with me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is thefat_man. You can connect with me there. Also, right now, I still have friends that I can connect with on Facebook. You can look me up on Facebook at Darren McDuffie, DarrenMcDuffie. You can connect with me there as one of my friends and get the latest show updates. And also, you can connect with me on the Fat Man Radio Show. So if you go to Facebook and facebook.com/the Fat Man Radio Show, you can connect with me there and like my fan page, and I do urge you to do that so I can keep bringing you the latest and greatest on nutrition and health. So tonight we're getting into nutrition. We're talking about something that a lot of people suffer from, and that's irritable bowel syndrome. A lot of people have gut issues and different digestive issues, and I'm so glad that Laura Knoff, who's a holistic nutritionist, is on the show tonight. So I'm going to bring Laura on.
Hello.
Hey, Laura, how are you?
I'm good. How's everybody out
great.
there?
I hope everybody's good. Everybody's good. So I hope you are ready to drop some science on us about irritable bowel syndrome. So before we do, what I normally ask is, how did you come about studying irritable bowel syndrome, and how did you get into nutrition?
Well, I've been studying nutrition on my own since 1975 when I was in college, and I basically wanted to become I didn't have any money is what it was. And I thought it would be a lot cheaper to be a vegetarian. A lot of people, my friends, were being vegetarian, so I looked into the nutrition of it and thought, well, that might work for me. And so I started eating a vegetarian diet. I still ate eggs and dairy and such, but I wanted to read. I wanted to do it right, so I read as much as I possibly could. And over the years, I really enjoyed diving into nutrition. My background is in chemistry, and the classes I was taking in biochemistry never really talked about vitamins or nutrients or anything like that. They talked about how the body makes energy, but it didn't include the fact that we need vitamins to do that. We need B vitamins and minerals and a bunch of other stuff. So it was kind of a disconnect between my schooling and what I was learning in the nutrition field. And then in the 80s and 90s, my health wasn't doing so great. And in the 90s, I had a toxic exposure at work, and my digestion started to falter quite a bit. And I started looking into different things. And about the same time, I enrolled in a holistic nutrition program, a vocational program at Bauman College, and turned my life around, turned my head quite a bit. Found out that supplements are really, they're helpful, but they're not a replacement for foods, and that the kind of diet I was eating was actually harming me in that case because I wasn't able to digest what I was eating. My digestion, as I said, stopped because of the toxics that I was exposed to in the labs, but what really happened was I had a variety of things going on. I had different kinds of bacteria that I shouldn't have had in my gut, and I had a lot of diarrhea, even bloody diarrhea and wasting during that time. And the doctors were saying, well, you're thin, but you're otherwise healthy. I actually lost 30 pounds in the process of after that toxic exposure. And they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. And they just said, well, you must have irritable bowel, and we can give you these drugs to stop the diarrhea. But by that time, I'd already discovered that dietary changes made all the difference. I completely turned around what I was eating, and it changed everything.
Yeah, so you kind of experimented on it.
I had irritable bowel, and I probably could have been diagnosed with inflammatory bowel if I'd let them do more investigative work, but it's kind of invasive, and I was not into it. So.
All right. So you actually experimented on yourself to get your condition under control.
Yeah, within certain boundaries, because at the same time I had been reading all about the specific carbohydrate diet and learning that perhaps for some people grains in and of themselves are not that helpful. I had already given up sugar. I realized that every time I ate anything with refined carbs or sugar in it, my belly just blew up like crazy. So that was a no-brainer. But it was paying attention. It's kind of like using the scientific method, but on yourself, because everybody's a little different. Just to say that, well, I tried this and it worked, or I tried this and it didn't work, and keeping track of that is really what it was about. And that led me to, once I got my health back, and I actually started teaching at Bauman College too. So once I got my health back, I was able to sort of synthesize a lot of this information. And because I was teaching, I was able to learn how to speak about this in a way that some more people could understand. Mm-hmm. So I specialize in digestion. I specialize also in blood sugar and cardiovascular health.
Cool. So let's get into just talking about IBS. And for those people out there who know that they have these problems, they might be having bloating, they might be having gas. What exactly is IBS?
IBS is what's called a diagnosis of exclusion. After they cannot find anything actually structurally wrong with the digestive tract, it's a situation where people have bloating, pain, gas, and sometimes constipation, sometimes diarrhea. Sometimes they go back and forth between the two, either short-term or long-term. And the pain and the bloating is usually relieved after they have a bowel movement. So the idea that you have these symptoms at often in the evening. It seems like most people develop these symptoms as the day goes on, and then they find themselves either having diarrhea